Hey guys! So to start off making the baos, you want to mix together 1.5 teaspoons of instant yeast and half a cup of lukewarm water, and you want to stir this together until it dissolves and let it sit for 5 minutes. Once that's done, you want to mix together 4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. Once that's done, you want to gradually add in the yeast mixture. Once that's done, you want to gradually add in a cup of milk, and you want to make sure this is room temperature. And now you want to add in 2 tablespoons of oil. And you want to sort of form this into a ball. And once it's all clumped together, you want to flour your surface so you can turn out your dough and start kneading it. So kneading is really easy. All you have to do is push the dough forwards with the palm of your hand and then pull it back in. And you want to do this for 10 to 15 minutes. Once that's done, you want to let the dough rise. So before you put it in the bowl, remember to rub it with some oil. And you want to let this rise for 45 to 60 minutes. And make sure you do this in a warm place. Do not put it in the fridge. And while that rises, you can start working on the filling. So you want to chop up 1/4 of a cabbage, and you don't have to do this in the food processor, but I have one, so it's a lot faster. Once that's done, you just want to turn that out into a bowl. And add 1 tablespoon of salt and stir that together. And now you just want to transfer it into a strainer. And you want to let that sit for 20 minutes so that all of the cabbage can sort of just release all its juice. And now you want to squeeze all the extra moisture out because you really don't want any left in there. And now you can just turn it back into the bowl. And mixed in 5 chopped scallions and half a teaspoon of fresh chopped ginger. And you just want to stir that all together. Once that's done, you can add in 1.5 pounds of ground pork. And now you want to add in 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and 1 egg. And 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Once that's done, you can just stir that all together. And add in a tablespoon of oil. Once that's all done, you just want to chill it in the fridge for 30 minutes. And while that chills, we can start working on the dough. So now you just want to flour your surface again. And here's the dough, so you just want to roll it into a log and cut it in half. And you want to set one of those halves aside. So now you're going to use the other half and cut that also in half again. Now you want to take one of those halves and roll it out and cut that in half again. And then cut each of those halves into thirds. And you just want to make sure that they all have the same amount of dough. And roll them into balls. I just do this by getting the outsides of the dough and pressing them into the center. And you want to coat all of your balls in some flour. Now once that's done, you can flour your rolling pin and you can now start rolling out the dough. So you want to grab one of the balls and flatten it out, and then use one hand to move the rolling pin and your other hand to turn the dough. And you want to make sure just to roll out the edges and not the center. The center needs to stay thick so it can hold in all the filling. And you want to make sure it's as big as your palm and add in half a tablespoon of filling. And now you can start folding the edges. And once you reach the end, you can just sort of twist it over and attach it to the start. It should have a nice tiny hole in the center. So now you want to get out your steamer. I'm using a bamboo one and line it with some cabbage. And my dad is helping me put the buns in the steamer, and you want to let these rise for another 30 to 45 minutes before you actually start steaming them. And you want to steam them on high heat for 15 minutes. Once they're done steaming, don't open it up right away. You want to let them sit for another 5 minutes before you open them up so they can keep cooking. And here's how they look. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you later. Bye!